didn't see you there. But while you're still here, why don't you see what I'm doing with this building over here? Today I'm going to show you how to build a nice and cheap building for sci-fi gaming system like 40k, 30k, Shadow War of Armageddon, Infinity, and like Warhammer, for instance, if you still play this game, or Necromunda. So this is going to be a very cheap and easy setup. Some of the inspiration I got from different websites, different Necromunda and Shadow War of Armageddon groups. So to all of you who recognize their own ideas in this one, thank you. I don't remember all your names, but you know that you've inspired me. Have a look at the video. Before we begin, I just wanted to let you know that we've got a limitation of 30 minutes because the manufacturer of the camera decided it's a camera, not a video camera. So let's move on to the bits that we will need. We will need some decorative bits from GW, most preferably, just to tie it with your other GW buildings. We're gonna need a ladder, like the one that I'm holding in my hand. We're gonna need some things that we're gonna use as smokestacks, so we can use anything. Over here I'm using some Monopoly bits that I've bought some years ago on eBay, and they are good things, good bits to use as such. Like, you know, electric boxes, chimneys, anything that you might come up with. Some metal sheets, a GW bit that we're going to use as a door, and a vent. This is going to be our vent on the building. So you might wonder how I'm going to make the building. So I'm just going to use this box that my kids' shoes came in. So I'm going to flip it upside down right now and put the lid on top as a roof. These two bits are going to go as a chimney, the door over here, the metal sheets over here, vent over there, and decorative bits anywhere I find it looking good. And I'm gonna distribute it overall on all of the sides. So first of all, what we need to do is we need to cut a hole for this door. Right, so we find a face that we want to cut it in, and this is just gonna be a simple cut. So let's take a pen and mark where we want to make the cuts. And you don't need to be very neat with this, because you are going to use hot glue gun to cover up all the holes and fasten the door in place. So now we've got the marks, we are going to take a proper scissors from Fiskars and cut the cardboard with 1 or 2 clean cuts. Some of the mistakes I've done over here is not to cut into the top face of the box, which would make the door sit flush, but you're gonna see it a bit later where I realized that I've made a mistake. One very important thing, don't throw anything away. We might need this piece of hard cardboard, so put it away, and we're gonna use it in a second. Right, so now we need to fasten these doors in the frame. And for that we are going to use hot glue gun. The hole is a little bit too big, but that's nothing to worry about. We are going to use a lot of glue, hot glue, to keep it in place. So let me just grab a glue gun and start gluing it in. You won't see much of this, but you probably get the idea how to do it. We are fastening the top of the door first, and then along the one side, and adjust it in place so it's nice and flush with the wall. Right, now we need to blow a little bit on it just to keep it in place. Keep the glue cool faster. And so yeah, it holds a little bit. And now we're gonna do the other side of the door and use a lot of glue to keep it in place. We're not going to be able to see it anyway, so we don't have to be very neat about it. Right, so now we've got it done. We need to cover the hole in the door, and for that I'm just going to use one of the artificial sheet of metal, and I'm just going to, put some glue on the sides, on one side here, and on the other. And again, you don't need to be very neat because you won't be able to see it. So it all now needs to be fastened in place while all the glue is still flexible and we can adjust it to the right position. So now we've got the door covered, and it looks really, really nice. Right, we just need to fix it from the outside because the hole was too big, the gap was too big. So I'm just gonna put some hot glue, wet my finger, and get it off. It's gonna be very hot, but you know, you need to be very careful about it. You don't want to burn yourself too much. Right, so now we've got this done. What we need to do is to go further, and the next thing will be, all right, I just noticed that the door is sticking out too much. That's where I said that we should cut in the top of the box, but that's nothing to worry, because we are going to put it on a piece of MDF that will sort of fix the issue by, I'm just going to fix the issue by putting a little bit more hot glue at the bottom of this face. So I'm just going to show you how it's going to look like. Yeah, a little bit of MDF, and there's going to be plenty of glue. So those 2 millimeters difference is not going to make too much difference. Right, so the next step is going to be putting the vent. So we need to find we need to find the side of the building that we want to put it in, and we just need to use a very sharp knife. This vent is some kind of a ventilation system thingy. I think it's used in wardrobes for ventilation, obviously. So you drill a hole of the 5 centimeter diameter and just glue it in. And this is exactly what we are going to do over here. But we're not going to be drilling anything. We're just going to be cutting it out. So I'm just picking one of the sides, and I picked the shorter side that we can remove the stickers, get rid of all the stickers, clean it up, just so you know, after you paint it, all the stickers and things like that are going to be visible through the paint, and some of the print on those stickers might be visible as well, even after you spray it with rattle can. Right, moving on. Let's put the vent into the side of the building. So I'm gonna do that by cutting a hole. Well, first marking the hole in the wall. Just use a normal pen and mark it very precisely. Well, quite precisely. It has a little bit of a lip, so it's not that important. Now use a very sharp knife to cut it through. Be very careful not to put your fingers on the other side, otherwise you will just slash your fingers open. Unfortunately, it's a double cardboard on each on those sides, so I've got plenty of holes in there. Now that the hole is ready, the only thing you need to do is to cover it, yes, you guessed it right, with hot glue gun. But first we need to dry fit it so it sits flush, and as we can see, it's very nicely done, if I can say so myself. So just use this glue gun to cover put it on the lip. Unfortunately you can't see it, I've just went a little bit off frame, but you know what I mean. Just put it in the lip where it would touch inside and outside of the box, and fasten it in place. The very important thing is that you need to remove the excess of the glue, because otherwise it will be visible later on. So just wet your finger a little bit in your mouth and try to remove it. Again, bear in mind that all differences in texture will be quite visible after you spray paint it. And now we're going to use this piece of cardboard from before that I said that you shouldn't be throwing out, and cover it from the inside. So I'm just going to put some hot glue in the corners of the vent, just to secure it in place. I'm just still thinking which part to use, but I'm gonna go with this one. Just put a little bit in each corner. And again, you don't need to be very neat with this, because it's not gonna be visible in a second. Well, in a couple minutes at least. Right, hold it in place for a couple seconds, fasten it, and now you've got the hole covered, so you won't be able to see inside of the building, so you don't have to worry about filling it up with interesting stuff, unless you really want to. You might do it as well. Right, now we've got this done. Let's move on to the next stage. before let's clean the workshop a little bit, desktop. We don't want to have any rubbish in there. So it looks already quite neat. The next step is going to be fastening the roof, and this is quite straightforward. Let's just put some glue on top, put the lid on the glue, flip it upside down, and set it up in the nice place. And remember to put the insides together, the center of the lid and the box, just so the glue can hold. And done. Here it is. Just a little bit of hot glue, and you've got the nice roof with a lip. Now, next stage, we're gonna put the ladder, and I decided to put it on the back of the house. So I'm just finding a nice spot for the ladder. And as you know, the GW ladders have those 4 pins that you glue them onto the buildings. And as you can see, I'm trying to push them through, and they're not going through. So I'm just gonna use a very sharp knife and sharpen them a little bit. So this is what I'm going to do right now. Why? Well, this is going to allow me to push it through the cardboard and fasten it with a glue gun later on. So again, looking for a space, and just pressed it. As you can see, it just went straight through. And now I'm just going to take it out, because now I've got the holes. I've got the 2 holes inside, and I used 2 pins to go between the roof and the main building. I'm just going to put a little bit, small dab of glue over there, put the ladder inside, and look from the inside, and also put some hot glue on the pins sticking out from the other side. It's not gonna fasten it very much, but enough to hold it in place for gaming. Obviously, now no one is gonna throw this building around, so it shouldn't be much of an issue. If you want, you can use a normal glue like super glue or any other glues that you might want to, epoxy, I don't know. I think that the hot glue gun is quite easy to use, and it does the job. So I could cut a hole in the side of the roof, but I decided not to, because it would sort of destroy the rigidity, if that's the word, of this part. And I opted for not doing this. So now I'm going to put another sheet of metal on top of the roof, like it's, someone fixed a leak or something, just to give some more detail. And a bit of cardboard that we used to cover the vent is still remaining, so I'm just going to put it somewhere in the corner as well, like so, just to give additional details. So something is going on the roof. It's not just a flat surface. So now to attach the smokestack, we just need to make sure that we're not going to attach it over the door, because it wouldn't make a lot of sense. So we're going to attach it in the opposite corner. And the way I'm going to do it, I'm just going to put a lot of hot glue. Just need to fix another plastic rod just in case I run out. I'm just going to put a lot of plastic glue, and it's going to hold enough, and put on all sides that you can, so like sides and the bottom, just so it holds it firmly in place. And we don't need to worry about the hot glue sticking out, because I'm going to cover it with some sand and some debris later on as well. So the small side, I want to cover the sign. As I said, these might be visible after you spray paint them. So I just want to avoid them at all costs, and just put a little bit of hot glue and cover it. Don't try to be very neat. I've just done it a little bit skewed. And the last thing is going to be the big window, because right now, after seeing this, I realized that, well, that looks like an actual window, and I wish I put it nice and straight, because it would look like a window. So right now it looks like a damaged piece of sheet of metal on the side of the building. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take some bits, just looking for some bits that I could use as a window, but I can't find any, so I'm just gonna use another sheet of metal. Put this here and there, a little bit of glue on all sides, and next to the ladder, bang, here you go. You've got a nice window, but to differentiate it and to make it look more like a window, not a sheet of metal that's been put straight, I'm just going to use these decorative pieces on the sides, just to make it look different, basically. So a little bit of cleanup on the ends of those pieces. And again, you could use super glue, you could use any glue you like. I just prefer to use hot glue gun because it's nice, easy, and even if it breaks off at some point, the hot glue gun creates a surface that you can later on cover it with super glue and reattach it, making the bond even stronger. So now putting these bits there, and it appears they are the perfect height of the box, so nothing is sticking out at the bottom like the door is sticking out, that we did a little bit not the right way. And I'm gonna attach the other one as well. Bang. Remember to remove the excess that is sticking out. You might not see it over here because I need to hold it closer to my face, but if there's some excess, just remove it. I could use the third one on top, but I decided not to, just because I might use it later on for the same building. You know, do exactly the same, not exactly the same, but similar building. So here you go. This is the building that we built in less than 15 minutes, I believe. Some bits were sped up, but I don't think that took more than 15 minutes. And now, just for comparison, we've got a little guardsman. Obviously the door is too big for him, but he fits perfectly on top of the building, and it gives additional detail to your gaming tabletop. And there you go, this is the building. What else we could do? Obviously this building is perfect height for my other Necromunda Shadow of War of Armageddon buildings, and I can put gun trees on it, ladders and other stuff to tie it with the rest of the table. So now I'm just gonna spray paint it to show you how it's gonna look like in undercoat. So here it is, guys. It's a quick building that we've built in, I think the video showed 18 minutes something, plus spraying and making the base, which took not more than 5 minutes altogether. The base is 3mm MDF, cut with a knife at the edges and then smoothed with a sponge like this. It's a nice sponge. Yeah, you know what it is for. So for an 18 minutes job, because that's how long the video took to make it, and probably I shortened it a little bit, we've got a pretty neat building made out of completely nothing. Obviously the paint job that I've done on this one is just a base coat for now. What I'm gonna be adding is just sand around, sand on the roof, and some, different colors, shades. But for a mock-up building, not a mock-up, for a building, a quick building on your tabletop, I think it looks decent, and it's okay, I guess. So if I somehow inspire you to build something similar, post your ideas, post your work in the comments, or send it in a private message on Facebook. I'll try to make sure that I post it on this video, or even include it in the next one, so you can enjoy and you can see your work on someone else's channel and, get fame and glory. So that's it from me. I hope you're gonna enjoy some of the pictures that I'm gonna post in just after this, and I see you next time, guys. Take care.